The Formula Drift Championship heads due south as the world's top 32 drifters make their way to Orlando Speed World in the heart of Florida. Fredrik the Norwegian Hammer Osbo kicked off the season with a strong win in his brand new Toyota Corolla. But there were also notable performances by Forrest Wang and the Wordhouse Drift team of James Dean from Ireland and Peter Visik from Poland. Who's going to carry the momentum into the hot and humid south? Let's find out only on Formula Drift Blackmagic Pro Championship. Welcome to the Sunshine State. We're at Orlando Speed World playing host to the second round of the Formula Drift Blackmagic Pro Championship. I'm Jared Deenda. Well, let's digress back to round one where we kicked off the 15th ever FD season. The grandest of them all, though, Fredrik Osbo. He gets the win on the streets of Long Beach. And then here in Orlando, he's your number one qualifier, a near perfect score of 99. Can he repeat? Can he win here again? We're about to find out. But before we move on to our head-to-head action, I throw it to my co-host, Ryan Sage.
All right, well, thank you, Jared. I am down here on the track at Orlando Speed World, and after Long Beach, this is a much simpler layout, but it's no less challenging for the drivers. They've got a long straight up to navigate through, a big giant bank, and then through here, we go from banking to flat surface to whoops. So drivers need to have their suspension tuned properly in order to maintain the line and angle necessary to connect that last inside clip and that huge outer zone through the finish line. Drivers that can do that will be successful. But before we get to all the action on course, we're gonna go on board with our drivers and we check out the track preview.
I launch in first, put second out of the chicane, third big flick, hard on the gas all the way around the first bank.
Start looking for the end of the outer zone. That'll take you to basically you're coming off the banking. Then you look for your inner clip, nail that inner clip. That's where you bottom out and hit the whoop zone and you kind of figure out a good transition point.
Next inner clip is on the inside and you're just running the whole outer line on the inner bank, full throttle until you pass the finish line. So it's a lot of full throttle and it's hard work in the cars, especially in this temperature.
Drifting is the only motorsport in the world that is based on judging, so let's break down how that works. In head-to-head battles, the lead driver is supposed to run a specific judging line with as much angle as possible. The lead driver is setting the pace, but the chase driver is supposed to utilize the lead driver as a moving clipping point. Wherever the lead goes, the chase should go too. After 2 runs with each driver leading once, the driver that was the most consistent, most aggressive, and was able to show clear dominance over the other driver will win the matchup. For rules, criteria, and more information on Formula Drift, head to www.formulad.com.
Orlando is only the second round, but there's one driver coming all the way from Norway, the Norwegian Hammer, already making his presence felt.
Osbo, you know, he was my main competition last year. We were fighting for the championship together. And even though he came out with a new car this year, he seems even better than he was at the end of last season with his old car. So that's pretty impressive, you know, on a brand new chassis coming into a new season. I know he's been practicing a lot in the off season and I think you can tell.
There's still so much left to improve on. This winter I spent a lot of time practicing on the frozen lakes back in Europe. And you would think that is totally different. Not so. It's the exact same maneuvers that I'm putting out here on track in Orlando.
You know, we're still driving with the best drivers here and we got some, great cars and everybody's working to be as fast as they can. And, we're out here, working it with the rest of them.
I'll definitely fight as hard as I can, and you have to be really careful, you have to be really focused. That's my case, in my opinion, and we will see. It's drifting, everything is possible, everything can happen. And yeah, we will hope for the best and we will definitely do our best to get to the top spot as high as we can possibly go through.
Having like another really solid finish here would feel great. It would continue the momentum that we've been creating. I feel like we have something special going on this year. The car's working so well. My mindset is in the right place. I'm enjoying, what's going on. I'm enjoying driving. So we just really want to keep that positive outlook and just keep this rolling. And what better place to do it than sunny Florida?
Let's not talk about it, let's be about it. The Great 8 is shaped up, and our first battle on deck is all Toyota. Frederick Osbo, our #1 qualifier, trying to make it a perfect event, going against his Toyota teammate, OG Ken Gushi.
Well, Ken Gushi and Frederick Osbo had that friendly rivalry going back to 2015 during the championship season, and here it is playing out again.
At this point, it's far from friendly. Frederick Osbo initiates into that big bank, riding the wall. Again, our #1 qualifier, Ken Gushi, drops into that 2JZ. Great job of formation in tow.
Now Gushi tucking in on the inside here. Osbo reaching out, filling that zone. Gushi trying to close the door here, but very strong performance by Osbo out front.
Yeah, Frederick is just such a hard act to follow, but Gushi just gets a little too close for comfort in Osbo's case. They're going to alternate the positions. Let's see who's going to get the win. Ken Gushi out front. He qualified 8th. Here we go.
Through the chicane here is Ken Gushi, now coming down that straight. Osbo diving in right out of the gate, keeping the pressure on the bank.
Man, unbelievable chase job here from Frederick Osbo, but a solid lead run from Ken Gushi. Ken Gushi is hoping that Osbo makes a mistake to advance on.
Through that whoop section and coming into this final turn, now a little bit of separation here, but Osbo did attack early. Will that be enough?
Let's take a look at it again here, Ryan. Osbo is just a phenomenal chaser. Ken Gushi, like I said, without a good lead run, you will not get a good chase run. Let's go to the judges. Frederick Osbo unanimously gets the win.
It's already been a crazy season, and going against guys like Ken, who's probably one of my best friends out here, and a guy that basically welcomed me into the Toyota family with open arms. Part of me wants him to move on, but we're here to try and do as well as we can. We're really stoked. Let's see if we can get another win.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Black Magic. Own your shine. By Air Force, aim high. And by the Formula Drift app. Download the FD app in the iOS or Android store now.
Welcome back to a sunny and bluebird day here at Orlando Speed World. Round 2 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. Our stands are packed, and they're excited to see our next battle. 3-time Formula Drift champion Chris "The Forest" Forsberg going against Peter Visik, the Candyman, coming to us from Poland.
And Chris Forsberg's team working very hard to get a new motor in that car for this round. Let's see how it performs.
Peter Visik out front. He qualified higher than that 3-time champ. Peter Visik quickly gets to that wall, lighting it up, and great angle.
Great driving here by Peter out front. Chris now diving in on the inside, a little bit less angle there, but a great lead run by Peter Visik.
Peter Visik ticking all the boxes. Chris Forsberg gaining some ground in the latter portion of that track.
Yeah, Forsberg much better on the second half, though he did have a little bit less angle here coming through that center section, but really standing out front is Peter Visik with his lead.
Chris Forsberg will now lead. He qualified 12th as compared to the 4th position of Peter Visik. Forsberg quickly getting to that wall. There's quite a gap here, Ryan. Can Piotr gain that ground?
Trying to close the door here at 68.2 miles per hour and falling off. And now a big gap established here with Forsberg out front, not making any mistake.
Line angle style. Peter Visik gets a little rattled in the cage, but he is still continuing on.
Well, you can see just how important the bank is here. You can see Visik closing the door, gets lost in the smoke, and then loses the line, and Forsberg is headed home.
Let's go to the judges, and Chris Forsberg gets the win unanimously.
First run out, lead lap, just put it high on the bank and just run that wall and just try and put down the best 100-point run. The judges seem to be really favoring that today. And in the chase position, we almost bumped into him on the entry. It got a little hairy, but able to kind of regain the car with a little mistake and just got back on his door, following him through the finish. The car's feeling 100%, feels awesome, better than ever. So I'm just really excited with the performance and hoping that we can just keep it going.
Here's our next battle. James Dean, who is our defending champion, going against Odi Bakshis, who was a contender for the championship last year, had some unfortunate luck here in Orlando last year, but he wants some redemption.
James Dean out of the gate here, both drivers close to each other. Nice early initiation by Dean and very high on the bank.
James Dean looks picture perfect right now. 70.1 miles per hour, but Odie Bakshis is not backing down. He sawns that bumper, and he wants to throw the front end of that car into the side of Dean.
Working that proximity game right there is Odie Bakshis towards the end, keeping the pressure on Dean, but once again, another strong lead run.
Look at James Dean just quickly get to that wall. Great angle, just very consistent, minimal corrections there. Odie Bakshis, one of the best chasers in the business. He just speaks softly and carries some big angle. Here we go, he is out front.
Run number 2, Odie Bakshis, nice initiation there, but James Dean already tucking up on the inside, keeping the pressure on.
These twin S chassis, both from different origins, different ethos. Here we go. Odie Bakshis around through that whoop section, into that second outer section. Odie Bakshis, James Dean, Ryan. This is a tough one to call.
Yeah, definitely Odie Bakshis establishing some separation there towards the latter part of the run, but James Dean early on kept the pressure on and maintained line and angle.
Let's go to the judges and see who moves on. James Dean unanimously gets the win.
I thought it was going to go one more time, if I'm honest, but we got the win. We're in top 4, and yeah, let's hope we can keep it going.
Here we go, our final battle of the Grade 8. Who's advancing on to join the other 3 in the Final 4? JTP Justin Pollock in that tried and true Falcon tire Ford Performance Mustang, or is the 2JZ GT86 of Ryan Turk going to take him out?
Out of the gate here, Ryan Turk trying to find an opportunity to attack. A little bit behind here, but now closing the door, but look at JTP out front, coming down off the bank with great angle.
Such a contrast of vehicles, but they're keeping it close. Justin Pollock definitely poised there. Ryan Turk applying the pressure slowly there towards that finish line.
Well, Ryan Turk making an impression there towards the end, but out front, Justin Pollock nice and high on the bank. You can see coming down through that first inside clip here, and then Turk towards the finish, keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, that second outer zone is an opportunity, as you said, to put an exclamation point on it, but make your presence felt out of the gate. Ryan Turk's gonna try to accomplish that. Throws it in, but Justin Pollock is right there.
Immediate pressure by Justin Pollock, now on a little bit of a lower line here. Turk coming down, bouncing through that center section, and here comes JTP again.
Yeah, look at the attitude of both vehicles when they go through that whoop section. You see them get disrupted, but then they regain their stability, and Ryan Turk throws that next entire smoke in the face of JTP.
Well, not the greatest impression there through the finish line by Justin Pollock in that chase position. Will that be enough to turn the favor to Turk?
Going to the judges, Ryan Turk gets the win.
Final 4 feels good. This is like the point where you're almost there, but you're not quite. You got like one more to go before it's the finals. So it's like here's where you really want to apply the pressure. You're driving at your peak and you want to lay it all on the line. I got James Dean, the 2017 champion. He's a really difficult driver to beat, and he's like a robot out there. Just nails all his clips and is just just on point every single time. So I know he's going to be on my door, and I just got to match that. I got to be on his. So we'll see what happens.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Nexen Tire, driving tomorrow. By Achilles Radio, tires you can trust. And by Falcon Tires.
Welcome back, Drift fans. This is round 2 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship, OSW, better known as Orlando Speed World. This is the Final 4. First on deck, we are seeing 2 former champions, Frederick Osbo and Chris the Force Forsberg. The Hammer versus the Force.
Well, here we go. Both drivers, as you said, Jared, past champions. Forsberg's got 3, Osbo's got 1, and Osbo's trying to get that second one this year, but he's got to beat Forsberg.
Well, he's trying to make it a perfect event and quickly gets to the top of the bank, and he is showing you why he is just one of the best in the biz.
Great speed coming off the bank. Now on the inside, Forsberg looking for an opportunity here to attack. He's able to do it. Pressure on Frederick Osbo through the finish line. Great start here.
Again, such an opportunity in that second crease for drivers to gain that proximity. But quickly, Osbo just throws down, just railing away on the cords, tight to that front clip. Transitions, but now Forsberg, how is he going to throw down here at OSW?
Well, here's the second half of the battle. Forsberg out front in the lead. Nice initiation. Osbo there on a lower line, a little bit less angled. Now moving up, trying to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, how Osbo massaged his way into that bank. Forsberg just narrowly tipping over that front clip. Osbo losing some ground, getting into that second crease where people gained a lot of ground. Osbo actually making some corrections. Ryan, where does the needle lie?
Well, it's a great job by Chris Forsberg here. He seems to have solved a major problem with his tire wear, and you can see by this gap established here, he's able to get that advantage against Osbo.
Well, guess what? They are going one more time. Uno más tiempo. Frederick Osbo will lead once again. He's our #1 qualifier. Can he duplicate that lead run? Can Chris Forsberg apply more pressure and take him out?
Well, here we go. Initiating by Osbo. Nice and snappy there. Forsberg trying to close up that gap, keep the pressure on, but Osbo out front looking dominant.
Off the bank, into the flat section, better known as the whoop section, into that second front clip. Ryan, these guys are throwing down.
Well, pressure by Chris Forsberg here towards the end, putting an exclamation point on it, as we say. And we did not see that from Osbo the first time around, so now we know what each driver has to do in run number 2.
Yeah, taking that different perspective as we go on car, you see the friction of those Nexen tires and Motegi Racing wheels in the side of Forsberg. Forsberg out front, getting that clean air now.
Initiation by Forsberg. Osbo already with the pressure. Now a little bit of separation. Osbo trying to battle back. Both drivers on the bank, 100% all the way out.
Man, this is just, and Osbo with a major mistake. I was just about to give them compliments. That is the announcer's curse. Forsberg looks like he is going to get the victory, Ryan.
Well, one small mistake turns into a big error for Frederick Osbo. This transition right here, he doesn't time it properly, gets lost in the smoke, gives the advantage back to Chris Forsberg.
And Chris Forsberg is setting sail for the finals.
I just knew I had to just be up on his door. I had a bit of a bobble on my first pass chasing him. I surged a little too much and had a mistake, and that's kind of what caused it one more time. We got back into it. It followed him nose to tail instead, and we got in with him and put down a good lead and got the win.
Forsberg's in the finals. Who's he going to be going against? Defending champion James the Machine Dean or his blackout, gum-out garage teammate Ryan Hampshire Turk?
Valuable championship points at stake here with Frederick Osbo going out. Who's it going to be in the finals? Here we go, James Dean and Ryan Turk.
James Dean initiates into the wall. 4 JZs on track because both of them housing 2 JZs under the hood of their vehicles. Coming down off the bank into that flat section, into that first front clip, Ryan.
Nice transition there by Ryan Turk, trying to gain that proximity, but look at James Dean out front, keeping that back bumper right into that zone, and through the finish line they go.
Right in the yellow line, lick the stamp and send it. Both of these guys coming down, like I said, into that transition, crossing over, killer crossover, shredding the gnar. Who's going to move on and go against Forsberg in the finals? Ryan Turk leads as James Dean gives chase.
One half down, another half to go. Ryan Turk initiates nice and high on the bank, but James Dean tucking up on the inside, making it look clean, keeping the pressure on Ryan Turk.
Unbelievable chase job by James Dean. Ryan Turk getting the clean air, put his car in the right places until then, about the second hash mark as they round out that final outer zone.
And finally, tires becoming an issue for James Dean. Ryan Turk able to pull a little bit of a gap there, but was the damage already done by James Dean?
Ryan, well said there. Was the damage done? I have to think so. So dominant. Let's go to the judges. James Dean is going to the finals.
Again, very close battle, similar to the battle with Odie, but I think we won it on our lead run. So we're into our first final of the 2018 Formula Drift Championship, and it feels great to be back in the podium, so very happy overall.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Black Magic. Own your shine. By Nas Energy Drink with Complex 6 for high performance energy and enhanced mental focus. And by Nitto Tire, fueled by enthusiasts.
Welcome back to Orlando Speed World Round 2 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship, and this is Final Town. Population, Chris Forsberg and James Dean. 4 championships between them. James Dean, the defending champion. Chris Forsberg, he is the only 3-time FD champion. Ryan?
Well, after a developmental year last year for Chris Forsberg, this has got to feel good to be in the finals here in Orlando, but it's against James Dean, the defending champ.
Woo, James Dean, shots fired across the nose. Chris Forsberg now gaining that proximity and getting into formation.
Great start here by James Dean, nice and high on the bank. Forsberg trying to keep proximity. Less angle here from Forsberg as they hit that second inside clip and enter that last turn.
James Dean looks so strong out front, but Chris Forsberg has found the formula. He's found the grip. He's strapped his engine together. His team has worked hard. He wants to get to the top of the box, and he has to take down the defending champion.
Well, one question you have to ask yourself here is, did Chris Forsberg burn up too many tires here, or does James Dean have enough grip in the chase position? We'll find out right now as Forsberg already establishing a gap.
Oh, and Dean goes into the wall. Wow, talk about anticlimactic or climatic. Forsberg has one more clipping zone to go, and he will get the win, Ryan.
James Dean with the mechanical goes into the wall, and that leaves Chris Forsberg out front to take the win.
Well, that means Chris Forsberg gets the win here in Orlando.
And it's a podium of champions here with James Dean in second place and Frederick Osbo now back-to-back podiums in third.
Well, it's an awesome event here at Orlando Speed World, second round of the Formula Drift Blackmagic Pro Championship, and we have some repeat customers. Frederick Osbo back in the podium, this time third place. Wordhouse Drift Team, they're back in the podium, but it's not Peter Vincic, it's his teammate James Dean. And another repeat customer, after a 4-year hiatus, 3-time champion, Chris the Force Forsberg gets the win here in Orlando. Ryan Sage is with our winner now.
All right, well, thank you, Jared. I am here with your winner, Chris Forsberg. Now, Chris, it's been a while since we've seen you up here, but you look really strong. You seem to have the better overall strategy in terms of tire consumption, and you're really closing the door on drivers towards the end there.
Yeah, thank you. It was my team who gave me the best car that I could get this weekend. And yeah, a lot of guys were running out of tire and just doing a lot of wheel speed throughout the course. And it looked great in the lead, but you're running out of tire, running out of grip on the second run. So we're able to, either pull a little gap if we're leading in the second pass, or be able to close that door if we're chasing. And so I think that's what was the little thing that gave us a win.
Well, congratulations on your win. We love watching you drift. Your winner here at round 2 at Orlando, Chris Forsberg. We are finished. We're heading to round 3 at Road Atlanta up next. For everybody at CBS and Jared Dienda, I am Ryan Sage. We'll see you next time.
And here are your Blackmagic Championship Cup powered by Gum Out standings. Frederick Osbo with the lead, James Dean in second, Chris Forsberg in third. In regards to Auto Manufacturers Championship, Toyota has a healthy lead over Nissan in second and Ford in third. Finally, our Tire Manufacturer Championship, Nexen Tire, Falcon Tire, and Achilles are 1, 2, and 3. We are only 2 rounds deep of 8, and we are forging a 2018 championship. Be sure to join us at round 3, where it all began, Road Atlanta, for the next installment of the Formula Drift Blackmagic Pro Championship. In association with Formula Drift, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.